Now let's take a look at remote device wipe. And before we proceed, I'm just going to reiterate a warning for you. Remote device wipe will completely wipe the device. It doesn't just wipe the emails from the device or from that email account that's on the device. It will in fact wipe the entire device. So first of all, I don't recommend, if you're doing this in a test lab, that you do this with your actual mobile device that is your normal personal mobile device. If you have an older or a spare smartphone available to you that you can connect to a Wi-Fi network and use for this testing, then that would be obviously much better. Or you can do what I'm doing here and use a virtual Android device, which basically runs as a little software emulator used for app developers, Android app developers. You can actually connect that to your Exchange test lab and use it to demonstrate remote wipe. So I've got two remote desktop connections side by side here. On the left, I've got the Android device, which I've got configured with Alan Reed's mailbox. And on the right here is my Exchange admin center already open. Let's have a look at Alan's mailbox mobile devices. So I've cleared out all the other devices that were associated with this mailbox just to keep things clear. You can see here I've got this Android SDK device which is currently granted access to his mailbox. Now we have the option here to wipe the data. Now in order for this wipe to be successful, the device needs to still be able to connect to your Exchange server. Now what some people do is when they lose a mobile phone or a phone is stolen, their reaction is to contact their carrier, disable the mobile phone or the SIM card, and perhaps even reset the password for the user who lost their device. Now if you do either of those things, the device will no longer be able to connect to the server and the device wipe will not be successful. So if you do want to be able to wipe the device, you've got to be careful not to change the password on the account or disable the device or the SIM card or anything else that would prevent connectivity for that device. Now obviously that's not going to be suitable. In some cases the organization may prefer just to disable the device and change the password. In other ones they will prefer to wait so that they can do a confirmed remote wipe. So let's issue that wipe. We get a warning here that says wiping the device evicts it from the organization by forcing it to erase all data every time it tries to connect. The device isn't wiped until it connects with Microsoft Exchange. Okay, you'll note that it says to reinstate the device, you must cancel the wipe and then restart synchronization from the device. And there we go, on the left hand side we can see that wipe is occurring basically straight away. And depending on the way the mail account is set up for the device, if it's only set up to connect every hour or every 15 minutes or at some other interval like that, that won't be an instantaneous wipe, but it will wipe on the next time the device actually connects. Let's go back to Alan's mailbox here. We can see it has a status of remote device wipe successful. Now as long as we left that device association there, every time this device tried to reconnect, it would wipe it again. So if the device has been found or the device was only wiped to do some sort of secure removal of data before the device was handed over to another person, now until the device wipe has actually been successful, which this one has, you do have the opportunity to cancel it. But once it's been successful, as long as that device association is there with the wipe associated with it, with the wipe request associated with it as well, anytime that device tries to reconnect to your organization, to your Exchange server, it will be wiped again. So if for some reason the device has been found and the wipe has been successful, but you want to reuse the device and allow it to connect again, we just delete that device and now it will be able to connect again without the risk of being wiped. So you can see that the remote device wipe, you can see that the remote device wipe is pretty effective. It's very quick. It just completely wipes the device the first time it connects after you've put that wipe request in. But there are some caveats around its use, such as I mentioned, you don't want to change a password or disable a SIM card or a smartphone if you still want to be able to wipe it. And you'll also just want to be cautious about using a remote device wipe, especially in the BYOD or bring your own device type of world that we live in these days, because you will be wiping out people's personal devices of all of their data, their phone, their photos, their contacts, all their personal data will be wiped as well. It doesn't just wipe the corporate email data. So that's probably something you want to make sure your users are aware of, and perhaps that they sign an acceptance form for. And you certainly don't want to be issuing those remote device wipes unless you're absolutely certain that there'll be no backlash for the deletion of that personal data as well.